Good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. This is your
Morning.
girl, Coach Devonna Boone, with the cleansing coach, Natasha Lancaster. Good morning to everyone. Let me see here. Hold on, y'all. There we go. So we are doing Soul Work Saturday. This is for domestic violence awareness, and we are talking about the residue that it leaves behind, the toxic residue that domestic violence leaves behind. So we're just going to go right into it today. We're not going to hold you guys long because it's Saturday and we got things to do or not to do, right? We can rest and chill. And me and my girl, we work a lot, right? So we want to just come in here, give you guys this information and get on up out of here. Okay, so I want to recap basically a little bit about what we talked about on last Saturday for our Soul Work Saturday. We started by sharing our personal stories of childhood domestic violence. I shared the definition for that, which is basically where a child grows up witnessing their parent or guardian being abused by their intimate partner. We talked about the reasons why they stay, and she shared the number one reason. So if you all want to know that number one reason, please check out the video that we posted from last Saturday. We also talked about the cycles of abuse, right? The honeymoon phase, the tension, the incident, the reconciliation. Then we talked about the effects of abuse, and we kind of touched on a little bit about victim versus being an abuser, and we're gonna unfold that a little bit more today because we only touched on it a little bit there the last time. So those are some of the things that we talked about and some of the important terms that we discussed that I feel as though are very important that everyone understands. Of course, was the childhood domestic violence, which I just explained. Then also gaslighting, right? We explained what that was. We gave real life scenarios from our stories of our books. So basically, the definition, it is a form of psychological manipulation in which the abuser attempts to sow self doubt and confusion in their victim's mind, right? The gaslighters are seeking to gain power and control over the other person by distorting reality and forcing them to question their own judgment and intuition. We talked about all of that. We talked about all the real life experiences we had with that and gave real life examples. So you guys check out the video from last Saturday if you want to hear what we talked about in regards to gaslighting. Also, love bombing. This is the last term I'm going to go into, and then we're going to start today's Soul Work Saturday. So, love bombing is when someone overwhelms you with loving words, actions, and behavior as a manipulation technique to gain your trust and affection, right?
Yeah,
We
because it
explained
can't be wrong. It can't be false. It
yeah,
feels so right.
yes, yes. So we explained this. So again, if you guys want to understand what that really means and how we went into depth of explaining what that is, please check out our last video from last Saturday, our Soul Work Saturday. So today we're going to start with the different types of abuse, right? But before we go into that, I want the cleansing coach to again introduce herself, tell you guys where she's from, because I don't think we said that last time, but where you're from, what you do, your businesses, and all of that good stuff. Like, tell the people who you are.
All righty. As Devonna already said, I am your cleansing coach, Natasha Lancaster. I am a therapist providing outpatient to certain clients. I'm also a life coach and a therapeutic mentor for youth. Um, those services for brown beauties can come face to face or virtual, depends on what you want to pay for. Uh, Mentoring is strictly face to face. I feel like I owe it to my youngins that we get down and dirty and be face to face. So that service is not virtual, y'all. Um, what else do I have going on? Oh, my location. That's what you said.
Mhm.
I am located in Northern Virginia, from Southampton area. Some people might want me to say I'm from Emporia. I only did 4 years there, but Virginia is where I'm from. Let's see. I'm pretty boring, y'all. I'm straight to the point. That's all I got.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Well, that's good enough, love. That's a whole lot of meat up in there. Okay.
Mhm.
So I love it. So you guys, we're gonna get her information. What are your like social media handles? So anyone that wants to follow you or hit you up, like how can they contact you?
Got it. On Instagram, my handle is brown underscore beauties underscore LLC. And I also have a website, brownbeauties.org. If you want to go check that out,
Yeah.
look up what the services are catering to. We also have a self care bar with a ton of organic soaps, waist beads, chakra teas. They are delicious. Actual teas that you can drink. Yeah, check it out.
Yes, yes. And so like I said, I think I said this on the last live, but like I'm a stalker, right? When it comes to like buying into services and supporting. So I'll like stalk a page and go on their website. And so y'all, I've been on her website. It is very professional. I love it. I love your color scheme. I love how everything is easy to find and use. Like you don't have to click a bunch of buttons just to get to
Mhm.
one location. It's like you click here and you buy. It's like very easy to use, and I love it, girl. I love it. I
That's
love
good. That's how my services are too. It's very
it.
easy. I pull you in,
Yes, I
sprinkle
love
a
it.
little fairy dust on you,
Come on now, Brown Beauties. I love that. So y'all please check her out, Brown Beauties, on Instagram and on Facebook, and her cleansing bar. It is amazing. Support, support, support. So, for those of you who do not know, I am Coach Devonna Boone. I am founder, CEO of Natalie's Heart Coaching and Consulting, and I specialize in helping women avoid and heal from toxic situations and/or relationships, and teaching them how to reclaim their power back and ultimately end the cycle of toxicity. Okay, we got to end this stuff and move forward into healing. And that's basically what this live is for today, is to provoke awareness, to move you forward into that healing space, into being aware enough to be like, okay, something is off here, something needs to change, and what do I need to do to make it, to get to that desired change that I'm seeking, right? So today is going to be a lot of information, and so we're just going to move right on into it. And if you guys would like to follow me or look up any information about me, you can follow me on Facebook and Instagram as Coach Devonna Boone. Also, my website is www.devonnaboone.com. Any information that you would like to know about me, any programs or businesses that I own or offer, are all in that one place. Okay. And also, my scheduling link for a free consultation is in my bio on every social media platform. So just click the link. And if you would like to schedule a consultation, 30 minutes free, click the link and we can get started with that. So, all right, y'all, we're going to get started today. All right. So, Miss Cleansing Coach, let's talk about the types of abuse. Can you tell us the different types of abuse?
Now, there are plenty, and I'm trying not to go into too much detail today, but there is physical. Obviously, we know what that is, right? There is emotional.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about this yesterday. There is financial
Yes.
abuse.
Yes.
There's even something called reproductive coercion
Mm-hmm.
that people don't even talk about, but that's in the trafficking world,
Mm-hmm.
right? That's when you got some sex trafficking going on. And remind me to touch on that because I want to probably at least say something about it at the end. I won't go into detail right now, but that's at least three solid forms of abuse. You let me know if I've missed something.
We said emotional, right? And verbal. We did. Mm-hmm.
That's the one that I missed.
Mm-hmm.
Physical, verbal, emotional, and financial.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Now, a lot of people don't know what financial abuse is.
Mm-hmm.
You want to go into that?
So I can tell you firsthand, I've experienced financial abuse. Anytime someone wants to control your finances, or they make you the one who is like your name is in everything. They don't care how they spend whatever your name is on. So if they take your card and they go and max out your credit card knowing that that card is in your name, right, and have no regard to how you're going to pay that back, or not even try to help you, that is a form of financial abuse, right? Or if they tell you you can't have a checking account, you can't have a credit card, whenever you get paid you give me all of your money and I will give you an allowance, right? And then they tell you you can't buy this, you can't buy that, this is all you have. Like, anytime someone wants to control your finances to an extent where you have no say over any type of money that is yours, that is a form of financial abuse. And a lot of times we're not even aware, because I didn't even think that that was a thing. I didn't even know that that was a real thing until I started doing my research into the different forms of domestic violence. So yes, ma'am. So, have you had an experience with financial domestic violence or financial abuse?
I have not had any experience with the financial piece.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think I honestly have had the typical, the emotional, the physical, the verbal.
Mm-hmm.
And that's in my adult life. I want to
Okay.
be clear that they know what we're talking about, because last week we were on the childhood stuff.
Yes, yes,
This week, y'all, we're talking about our adult experiences
yes.
and how the cycle continues.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, the physical, emotional, and verbal for sure.
Okay.
For sure. And that love bombing is real.
Yes.
I think the verbal and emotional is something that is so subtle,
Mm-hmm.
and it's something that is psychological for sure.
Definitely.
You, if you're weak, and I'm going to use that word intentionally, if you're weak in any area of your life, it may just be an open door for your abuser to
Mm-hmm.
just come in and wreak havoc. He gonna tear that up, okay? Because some parts of you are already fragile. That's a better word.
Yes.
I'm just letting y'all know the words that I use to kind of wake myself up. If
Mm-hmm.
there are parts of me that are weak, I need those parts to be strong.
Mm-hmm.
And what you say last week, you can't heal what you don't expose.
That's right. Come on now.
Yeah. We're gonna tie all of this in together, but
Yes.
definitely that emotional and verbal piece that sticks out for me. I have had the physical, but
Mm-hmm.
the emotional and verbal stick out for me.
Mm-hmm. And so for me, I've never experienced the physical to the point of, like, black eyes, but a little push or a little hold down, like to that extent, like the soft part of the physical. But the emotional and the verbal, now that was like top tier in most of my relationships. And those things, like, it's hard to explain to someone that you feel as though you're being abused, right? Because most people consider domestic violence as physical. So if someone is not even aware of what you're even trying to explain to them, they're like, girl, sit down, that man was just mad today, go on, give him some tail and go on, feed him, and let him.
That has been said to me.
Yes. And
Or it's been said, well, what did you do?
what did you do? Yes.
I'm like, what? Right? Like, this is really happening. This is in real time, it's happening.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, I have had the physical, and it was crazy. I was actually in college during this time,
Mm-hmm.
and the guy was a few years older. He wasn't in school. Um, Good guy. I still think he's a good guy, but he was from the hood. Okay. He
Yeah.
did what he knew. And I want to give the guys some grace
Yeah.
today, because sometimes guys do what they know, they do what they're taught.
Mm-hmm.
And for some, being a man is like putting your woman in check. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm like, baby, that ain't it, because we broke up immediately after. I'm laughing about it, but seriously,
Mhm,
no. Like I'm one who has some standards, and he didn't know at the time that I come from that.
mhm.
So when I literally got choked,
Oh,
I
that's
literally was drug out of the house,
mhm.
um, and thrown into a front yard.
Oh, wow.
Yes, girl. So having to like sit with it, and I wasn't driving. I had to depend on him to drive me back to
Mhm.
campus. Um, there were parts of him that was taking care of me, if I'm honest, at that time. I think that was his way of love bombing.
Mhm.
He would buy me things, he would put food in the room, and it was just that type of thing. But
Yeah.
he was doing what he knew, and his mama was a fighter. So,
Yes. Wow.
yeah.
Well, since you're leading into that, that leads to our next topic. How so basically I wanna like recap that a little bit before we move forward. So because a lot of people, the different types of abuse, to know if you are aware or to know what type of situation you're in, you basically have to be aware of the signs, right?
Mhm,
So the physical, we know what that is, right? The
mhm,
pushing, the hitting, the biting, the forcefulness, all of those things, right? And then the emotional, that's when we start, maybe they might cry in front of you to try to manipulate you into making you think that they're apologetic and that they're
mhm,
really serious, and so then that pulls on your heartstrings and make you empathetic to what they're really saying and hoping that they mean what they say. Or it can be the verbal where they tear you down and call you names, or like she said, they find those fragile spots in your heart, your soul, your life, and then they nitpick at those and they say the harshest things that make you even question why you even exist, right? And then
mhm,
we have the financial, where I gave examples of that, where you can be controlled, where you don't have access to a bank account, to your debit card, to any money that you own, or they put everything in your name and use it up to the max, not having any concern about how you're going to pay it back. It can come in all different shapes, sizes, forms, and everything, right? So you have to be aware. And if you feel as though any of these things are you and you need help and you don't know where to start, the national hotline number is on the screen here, and it is 1-800-799-7233. Also, their website is on here, thehotline.org. There are a lot of resources on this website, and I even talked about creating a safety plan if you're in a situation that you are trying to escape. We are not here to try to put you in a dangerous situation or trying to trigger
mhm,
you into a dark space. So if you are in a space where you need immediate help, call the number or even go on the website and use their resources. They have an interactive guide where you can create a safety plan for you and your children, or just for you, where you can actually plan your escape, right? So you can ensure you are safe. There's also other resources up there. So if you don't know where your local shelters are or local transitional homes, you can go up there and find your local resources so you can know where to start looking for the
mhm.
help and resources that you need. So once you become aware, now what is your next step, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So now
Real quick, Devonna, because I
okay.
missed one. One other form of abuse is stalking.
Oh, yes, yes.
And I literally just thought about it because my nail tech,
Mhm,
try not to use names here. My nail tech is of a different ethnicity,
mhm,
obviously, and like a lot of them are.
yeah,
She's married to a Caucasian male,
mhm,
but he has put trackers on her car. He will pop up at the job. He does the financial thing.
mhm,
It's so deep,
yeah,
y'all. And I think I didn't really understand how deep it could go, the financial piece, because a lot of us don't come from money, right? But
mhm,
these people are coming from money. Um, And to see the level of control and the psychological piece that comes along with all of it, because you got a Vietnamese individual who does come from nothing, and now that she's actually living this American dream,
Yes.
she's now experiencing abuse.
Mm-hmm.
And he also has an explosive temper. Now,
Wow.
she just now is starting to realize, oh shit, this is real. Like, this is a thing because of the cultural barriers.
Yeah.
So if you are from a different culture, it does not matter.
Mm-hmm.
These things still happen. That's
Yeah.
all I have to say with that.
That is true. Well, I love that you added that. That is everything you just said. I agree. I concur. Yes, indeed. So you guys be on the, make sure you are aware of that type of abuse as well. If you feel as though that is you, what's next for you? Figure out what's your steps, create your safety plan. I even put up a live a couple of days ago about creating a safety plan. And I even covered about GPS and location services, like making sure that if you are planning that escape plan, that you kind of like can deactivate those devices, and like if it's on your car, how are you going to plan around that? Because again, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail.
Yeah.
Right. So the only way to try to ensure your safety and increase your chances of safety and survival and getting away from your abuser is to create that plan and act accordingly. Right. So once you guys are aware of the situation and aware if you are in this type of situation and you want to create that change, create your plan, figure out what's next, and then act on it, and make sure you have a support system. All of that is in my video too, but
Mhm.
watch that one because we got to talk about other things today. But make sure you have a support system in all of this, okay?
Mhm.
Whether it's a family member, a co-worker, a good friend, someone that you can trust that is going to be able to help and assist you, not just physically, but emotionally and even financially, right? Because
Right.
again, if you're a person that's being financially abused, you
Mhm.
don't have any money to leave. So you're going to need somebody to help you get out of the situation, right?
Right.
So create that support system, all right? So we talked about the cycles, right? And we talked about how last time we talked about our experiences as a child and the childhood domestic violence, right? And I gave a statistic that said 15.5 million children between the ages of 3 to 17 are
Mhm.
exposed to adult domestic violence each year,
Right.
right? So those children are growing up to be adults, right? And so this is where we come to today, where we talk about the adult experiences and how this can affect you to either become the victim or the abuser, right? Because I gave another statistic that said children who grow up in this environment, which is a domestic violence environment, as an adult may think that violence is an acceptable behavior in intimate relationships and become the victim or the abuser.
It's normal.
And it is very normal. And sometimes you can be both, right?
Mhm.
So you can be in a relationship. So men and women, we're not just talking about women only being abused, because women are abusers as well.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
sometimes in the relationship that it is a two-way street. You can be a victim and then you can also be the abuser.
Right.
We also talked about like the lesson, like barking and biting, like the way you talk to people, being harsh. And this
Mhm.
is the emotional and the verbal abuse. So you might not be physically abusing your boyfriend or husband or partner, but you may be tearing him down with your words and with, you know,
Mhm.
so it's all a part of it. So which one are you? So the floor is yours, love. So, have you experienced this victim, abuser versus, or both, or which?
Yeah, I've been the double dutcher. Okay, we hopping in and out of this thing. One minute I am the victim, and the other minute I have been the abuser.
Mm-hmm.
Primarily verbally abusive, but I
Mm-hmm.
have thrown a shot or two, you know.
Yeah. Yes.
Not that I'm proud of it at
Mm-hmm.
all.
Mm-hmm.
Not proud of it, but I have to be honest with y'all. In the world that we live in,
Yeah.
survive. I'm gonna get you before you get me. um,
Yeah, that's a survival. That's a part of the environment we grew up in. Like that is what you learn. So
mhm,
again, that is what we feel as though is appropriate behavior for
mhm,
our intimate
yeah.
relationships.
And sometimes we just have defense mechanisms that we've been doing this in
Hmm.
the entire time that we've been living on this earth, right? From the playground to adulthood, these
Hmm.
little things that you
Yeah.
see kids do, like, oh, you know what? I ain't gonna be your friend no more. That
Hmm.
threatening of like taking something away, that is equivalent to you being like, you know what? Just because you talking shit,
Hmm.
all right, I got you.
Hmm.
Leaving it open ended like this,
Yeah.
it's like, what is it? What are we talking about? And then your partner may really be like plagued by this thing. It may be a situation where they think about it all day
Hmm.
and they're anxious because they don't want to lose you. But you know that you have this power over this person.
Yes.
And it's all verbal and emotional abuse, y'all.
Yes, it is. It is.
Yeah.
Yes. So like I said, like it doesn't just have to be the physical. And I've also been the victim and the abuser,
You
right?
was a double dutcher.
I was a double dutcher too. Like, and it's sad, but it's true.
It is.
So like again, like I now the physical part, sometimes I would do the physical. Like I
Mhm.
would, maybe slap, maybe, we're not gonna go all into details, but yeah,
Yeah.
like, I wouldn't give black eyes, but you
Mhm.
know how us women, we, yeah, y'all get my drift, right?
It's,
Like
it's almost like a maternal instinct, but we ain't their mama.
yeah,
So
you know what I'm saying? Like you pop it, like why? Why? Like
mhm,
that's a
I
sign
got
of
you.
physical abuse, right? And then if we get in an argument, like you said, those fragile spots. Like I was one of those ones. Like if you hurting me, I'm gonna go below the belt and I'm gonna make sure that you feel some hurt too. So I'm gonna get you where it hurts. I'm gonna find that weak spot and I'm gonna get in there and grind with my words,
You gonna
right?
shake it over and over.
Come on now. Come on now. So that's what I'm saying, y'all. Like, it's not always about the other person. We have to take accountability
Mhm.
for the roles that we play in these situations as well, right? And now some situations are where it's just one-sided and you're trying everything you can to try to make it better.
Yeah.
When that person comes home, the food is cooked, the house is clean, you're
Yep.
trying your best to keep the peace, you're trying everything you can to please this person, but yet nothing is ever right. Nothing
Mhm.
you do can meet their qualifications. Like you're always wrong. You can't. So now that's why I say it comes in all different shapes, forms, or fashions. Okay.
Mhm.
But when cycles repeat. Okay, so you've seen this, you've witnessed it, and we talked about this last time as a child with the childhood domestic violence, and then as an adult. We think that this violent behavior is acceptable in relationships, and we either accept it and become the victim, or either we gonna fight back and we gonna be an abuser, or either you can be both, right?
Mhm.
And so we want to try to help you into even like stop this from the beginning, right? Like
Mhm.
before you even start a relationship with someone, first of all, you need to start having the right conversations and not and like my aunt say, like slow your tail down a little bit. Stop being so fast.
Mhm. Mhm.
Stop being so fast, right? And I'm not saying that y'all hoes and I like we ain't talking like that, but just like slow your roll, slow roll it. Okay, I'm all but look, like don't be so quick to jump into relationship with someone or be intimate with someone, not even really fully knowing their character and who they are,
Mhm.
right? Because if you spend enough time with someone, their true colors are going to come out somewhere in the midst,
Yeah.
whether it be through unexpected reaction or whether it be how you see them interact with someone else. So
Yeah.
you need to be able to know or notice the red flags, right?
Mhm.
But the only way to start to notice those red flags is if you start to have some self awareness about yourself and have some standards and boundaries about yourself to even know what you're willing to accept and
Yeah.
what you're not willing to accept, right?
Mhm. So that's actually one of the foundations in my coaching process.
Come on
Um,
now.
I use shadow work, right?
Uh-huh.
But a part of your shadow work is that you sit in it. Do not
Explain what
brush.
shadow work is for those who don't know.
Got it. It goes deeper than what I'm about to say, but in layman's terms, you are gaining a very intimate relationship with yourself. So, truth is the only thing that exists within you. You're not lying to yourself anymore. You are acknowledging where some of those seeds were planted and what they have bloomed into. So, I'm talking about behaviors, y'all. I'm not talking about seeds for real that's in your garden out back.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, so, in a nutshell, you are truly being honest with yourself and you are recognizing parts of yourself that you either don't want to acknowledge, you don't want other people to acknowledge, and then there are parts that you have no clue exist within you.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes, but
Yes.
part of the shadow work is sitting in it because
Mm-hmm.
the minute we're rushing through this process,
Mm-hmm.
we're missing a whole lot of stuff. You mentioned just now you're gonna miss some of those red flags.
Mm-hmm.
You're also probably gonna miss your part that you played in the problem.
Come on now.
We all got a part to play in the problem.
Mm-hmm.
So even if it's, and I'm gonna go from both spectrums, if it is you are the victim, not the abuser, your part that you have in the problem is you don't love yourself enough. And
Come on.
we sometimes it is hard as hell to sit with that.
Mm-hmm.
You have valid reasons as to why you don't love yourself enough. Those
Mm-hmm.
can be validated, but what are we going to do with it?
What are we gonna do with it?
Yeah, we're going to sit in it for one because moving past it means you know what tomorrow's going to come and the day after that, and then it's going to be a month, a year,
Mm-hmm.
3 years from now, and you're not going to be sitting in it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So yes, other spectrum is if you are the abuser. I think that's clear.
Mm-hmm.
But parts of that is you're still insecure.
Mm-hmm.
You need control over this person in
Yes.
order to validate yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Who genuinely wants to live off of controlling somebody else and
Mm-hmm.
feel good?
And why do you feel like it's necessary for you to do this? Like, where did this come from? What's the root cause of this?
Insecurity. And now,
Mhm.
what that is specifically is up for the people to figure out
Yeah.
themselves or
Yeah.
get coached to help you figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you're both, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you're both the victim and the abuser, you are going on this roller coaster of needing to be validated, wanting to be controlled or in control, my bad. I love you, don't leave me.
Mm-hmm.
It is truly toxic.
Yes.
And you giving yourself the worst of both worlds, like,
Mm-hmm.
and not the best, the
Yes.
worst
The worst.
of both worlds.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to dominate you. Go ahead, girl.
Yeah, go ahead. So, do you have like some examples of red flags that you can tell the people?
Red flags. I gave a few last week. Give me 1 second. Gave a few last week. Got it. One red flag I don't think I said, but if I did, I'm gonna repeat it.
It's fine.
Checking someone's phone, email without permission.
Mm-hmm.
Another one, this is from my nail tech. She actually found that he put a tracker on her car
Mm-hmm.
without her permission. She had no clue. Even when she went on vacation one time, she found a recording. It was like that old recorder thing that people used to study with, or
Yes.
what detectives use when they're doing interviews.
Mm-hmm.
That was in her luggage.
Wow.
I'm just saying real stuff that ain't on my list because that's like real.
Yes.
Constant humiliation or being put down when they humiliate you in public.
Mm-hmm.
That's like It's embarrassing. And
Mhm.
you go into this little shell because you're like, oh shit,
Yep.
can't be seen, can't be heard.
Mhm.
Better not try to one up, okay? Or he gonna get you, okay? Or
Gonna
she.
blow up. Gonna make the situation worse.
They have an explosive temper.
Uh-huh.
It's explosive because let's say she's cooked dinner and it's his favorite meal, but she forgot to make some gravy to go on top of his hamburger. Boom.
Mhm.
Explosive. It's something so small, but
So
his
smart.
reaction or her reaction will be super, super big. I think I mentioned last week that they do isolate you from family and friends.
Mhm.
That is the level of control. They pressure you to have sex.
Mhm.
It's a form of a red flag, y'all.
Mhm.
I've already said stalking, but that level of control can go as far as where you go, who you talk to, what you watch on TV, what things they allow you to enjoy, allow, what you wear, and how you feel.
Yes. All of those things, all of those. So they can look different for each person that is experiencing this or going through it. It can be very subtle or it can be very bold and in your face, right? But the thing is, once you notice this, are you going to make an excuse for it or are you going to act accordingly, making a sound decision to decide that you deserve better than this and this is not what you're willing to put up with, or are you going to make excuses for it and just continue to hope, oh well, he didn't mean it, that was cool, it's fine, like I can change that, or he didn't mean it that way. Are you
Mhm.
going to make excuses for it or are you going to accept it for what it is and be like, this is not really for me, I'm
Yeah.
gonna fall back or I'm going to make other choices? So this is when I said, like, you have to slow down.
Mhm.
It is very important when you're starting to meet new people. We're going to start from the beginning, right? When you're meeting new people, make sure that you are slow in moving forward. Get to know the person,
Mhm.
date the person, talk to the person, have conversations with the person, talk to their friends, like have conversations with the people that know them best, right? Sometimes those people will tell you some things that that spending time with that person will probably never even tell you, right?
Right.
So it is very important to move slow and be watchful, right? And then act accordingly. Do not
Mhm.
just stay in a situation just hoping that it's going to get better or that
Mhm.
that you can change the situation or change the person.
Yeah.
No,
I
it.
do want to say something real quick. There
Mhm.
are um, cases, and they're far and few in between, but there are cases where the abuser is very tactful.
Mhm.
Like I know, I read about and even seen a few movies and shows where the abuser laid low for like 2 years.
Mhm.
Who ain't gonna think they know this person after 2 years?
Mhm. Mhm.
They are committed
Mhm.
and very strategic as to how they get under your skin, and that
Yes.
they in the roots at this
Uh-huh.
point.
Yeah.
So they can grow with you, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
Um, so while you think you're growing with somebody who's healthy and supportive and loving, they have just intertwined into
Yes.
your life so much so that it's going to be hard for you to get away,
Mhm.
i.e., finances, buying cars together, houses together, having kids together. That is also one way that they do
Yeah.
abuse. And
Mhm.
it is subtle because it looks like a healthy relationship.
It does. Yes.
I don't want to not acknowledge those people who like I did everything I was
Yes.
supposed to do. It
Mhm.
does happen that way sometimes.
Yes. All shapes and forms, right?
Mhm. Mhm. That's it.
Yes, y'all. We can go all day with like all the different ways this thing can show up, right? But the key, the common denominator is becoming aware, the awareness, right? And then what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Create the plan, act accordingly. Like you cannot heal from what you will not expose, right? So once you are aware, then what's next?
Mhm.
Going to continue, or are you going to figure out, how can I end this thing? How can I heal from this thing? How can I be better? How can I move forward? Whatever that looks like for you, because you may be in the beginning phase
Yeah.
where you're like, I like this guy, I like this person, I don't know. Or you may be in it, like Natasha said, where it seems like everything is good and it's lovey-dovey, but it's this little stuff that's like, is this gonna get better or is this gonna get
Mhm.
worse? Or you may be in the thick of it where it's already as worse as it's gonna get, and you're like, I don't see no hope in the end. I don't even know if I'm gonna survive this thing. It You can be on whichever level, but however, again, the common denominator is becoming aware, realizing where you are, what's going on, and then how are you going to fix this thing? How are you, or you might be on the other side where I've experienced all of that. Now I'm on the other side of it. I've gotten out, and now
Mhm.
I don't even know what to do with myself because I'm still aggressive. I'm still angry. I can't
Yeah.
forgive. I'm still hurt. I still don't have the self-esteem that I need because I still think that I'm nothing. I still think that I'm worthless. I still think all of these negative things that this person has told me. I don't believe in myself enough to even pull myself up out of this rut, right? So you may be any one of these people, right? But what are you going to do to move forward? And then that leads us into, what does it mean to be a survivor, right? So
Mhm.
Natasha, you told us your story of experiencing the childhood domestic violence of your mom and your dad, being abusing each other and witnessing that and what that meant
Mhm.
for you, and the effects that carried on into your adulthood, and how
Mhm.
kind of emulated some of those things and you were the victim and the abuser.
Ma'am.
Yes, and now you're on the other side of that, right? And
Mhm.
so you've had to do some healing work. You had to, do some inner self healing and loving on yourself and all those things to
Yeah.
come to this point that you are in now. So, what
Mhm.
does it mean for you to be a survivor of domestic violence?
I feel like, and this may sound cliche to some, but for one, and this is like a genuine statement, I truly thank God that I am me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and when I say that, I'm speaking from, like, I was the kid who would compare, but I would be like, no, I don't want to be like that. Or, no, I don't want to be like that either. When you're in that phase where you're trying to figure out which way you're gonna go, who you gonna
Yeah.
hang with, and I'm minimizing and like putting it in layman's terms because that's truly where I got some of my strength from.
Mm-hmm.
Early on, I acknowledged that I am in control of me. A lot of people don't get that, but it's never too late. Never
Yes.
too late. And to me, I was born a survivor. Um, I think we all are. It's just about what we pay attention to and how we
Yes.
tap into our gifts and our purpose and the whole nine, right? It's truly about what you're feeding yourself and what decisions you make in order to execute whatever plan it is that you want. That,
Mm-hmm.
to me, that is what a survivor is. So in this situation, how did I come out of the childhood domestic violence experience into experiencing it myself? And then it's no longer a thing. I chose me.
Yes. Yes.
I
Yes.
chose me. And I mean, I chose me for a number of reasons, like my relationship with God. I have children. I want to be the example. I'm a therapist. So how am I
Mm-hmm.
going to be the therapist who ain't done the work? There are a lot of them out there.
That is true. That is
How
true.
many therapist who ain't did the work? And it feels personally for me, if I have an area of my life where I haven't done the work and I'm like sitting and talking to somebody, giving them advice, it feels hypocritical. There's
Mm-hmm.
a weight that's on me that I'm like, I can't live with that.
Mm-hmm.
I just
Yeah.
can't.
Yes.
That's it.
I love that. I love that. Choosing you.
Choose
And
me.
that is where it starts. Like, so for me, being a survivor, I agree with everything you said. For me, it solidifies the deal. Like, it shows me how strong I am. It shows my weak points, and it showed me where I have room to grow, right? And like you said, choosing me, like that's where it literally started. Like I wasn't aware at the time. This was before I became a life coach and all this. I was just trying to figure out, girl, where how can I get this weight off me? How can I be happy? How can I have peace? How can I have joy? How can I stop wanting things that or wanting people that don't want me? Like I was just trying to figure out how to get out of this dark space, right?
Yes.
So I wasn't even aware that I was choosing me, but I actually was, because
Mhm.
I went on a self-awareness journey. I was like, I'm Googling stuff and I'm trying to, and I'm like, I'm just like, it was like Googling God. That they were my friends. I'm like, God, I need you to like help me figure this thing out. Like, and then after that, after I done figured out some stuff and became aware of some things,
Mhm.
I got me a therapist, I got me a coach, I had a mentor, and it just continued. Like it doesn't stop. Like I even did a live the other day. Linear healing is not linear, meaning it's not just from point A to point B. There's gonna be ups and downs, right? So there would be times where I'm feeling like, oh, I done healed from this thing, I'm good, girl, and then something will
Yes,
happen,
ma'am.
and it'll trigger me, and I'm like, well, dang it, I thought I was good in that area, but nope, it was still some residue that was still left. And then I was like, okay, but because now I'm
Mhm.
self-aware, now I know, okay, well, this is how I can kind of figure this is where it came from. I know that this is what's causing me to feel this way, right?
Yeah.
But it starts with me being aware, with me choosing
Mhm.
me, right? Then
Mhm.
that moves us into how to heal, right?
Yes.
Because that's the first thing. You have to choose you, and you have
Mhm.
to understand that self-love is literally the best love, because it
Absolutely.
sets the tone,
Mhm.
right? Because if you're loving yourself correctly and wholeheartedly and with everything you got, it's going to set the tone to what you're going to receive from someone. If
Absolutely.
someone come and half stepping, you like, love, I'm loving me better than that. Why
Mhm.
you think I'm gonna accept this little,
Mhm.
you know what I'm saying?
Mhm. Little
So
crumbs. Look.
yeah, look, wait, and then that's what, because I left this out of the red flags, breadcrumbing. That is another
Mhm.
thing, like the act of someone being flirtatious or leading you on by dropping little small morsels here and there. Lord, hold on. Here and there to like get your attention, and get just enough to hold your attention, just enough to make you feel like they love you so much or they like you so much, right? But if you know what you're willing to accept, if you know, like, love, I do better than that for me.
Mhm.
Why would I accept anything less than that, right? So
Mhm.
it starts with knowing who you are, choosing you, choosing your self-love over whoever, over whatever, all right? Because
Mhm.
that's the tone, because nothing is going to change until you do. Once you
Yeah.
start to change, the things around you will change because your perspective will change, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. 100%. I want to add to this. I think also it's important to have some empathy on
Yes.
this healing process. And I mean empathy with yourself, because
Yes.
the church folk use it all the time. Don't backslide. You don't backslide. Well, when you are in your healing process
Yep.
and you have this moment where you're like, why the hell have I not gotten over this yet? You haven't gotten over it because it happened.
Yes.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Keep it real simple, because if you're questioning why you haven't gotten over, you're also minimizing the fact that you're a human
Yes.
and that you got emotions and that you experience things that are traumatic.
Yes.
So
Yes.
don't minimize it. Don't be quick for it to be over. If
Mm-hmm.
you think you're over it and it pop back up, baby, this is just another opportunity for you to dig deeper.
Come on now. And I
Dig
said this the other day, give yourself grace.
deeper.
Like you're on a journey. So it's going to be, you're trying to create new patterns. You're trying to create
Mhm.
new routines. You're trying to create a new subconscious mind. You're trying to
Mhm.
shift your paradigm, right? So the way you've been thinking and doing and acting for the past 20, 30, 40, 50 years, however old,
Mhm.
it takes time to change that.
Now, in the outpatient world, I'm a cognitive behavioral therapist, right? So the thought challenging and reframing the thoughts, I'm all up in your thoughts. I'm
Yes,
in your brain.
yes, yes.
You have to do the same thing. It can't be your therapist or your coach doing all the work.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be able to build yourself up and be like, dang, I've been thinking like this the whole time.
Yes.
Maybe that's why I've been stuck.
Mm-hmm.
And that is okay. To me, that's not a bad moment. You shouldn't be ashamed. I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, yes,
Yes.
this is
You
why
understand?
we
Yes.
get stuck.
Yes. And sometimes what you see is bad. It's like, no, love, like that's an awakening
Yes.
because you see it, because some people don't even recognize it, they're not even aware. So the fact that you see that, it's like, love, we are on the right track. I
Yep.
promise you. Like,
Mhm.
so you guys, like, just become aware, just take time with self, right? We've been on here 50 minutes. We got to get ready to go. So
Mhm.
the common thing today is to become aware, right? Sit down with yourself. Take some time with yourself, right? Ask yourself these questions. Don't put everything else on your partner or whatever your situation is going on. Take some time with you, right? Spend some time with you, right? See what you want, see what you're involved in. And if it's not what you need, if it's some of the things that we've talked about today,
Mhm.
then you need to make some adjustments, right? You need to create that plan to get you out of that situation.
Mhm.
You need to create your support system that's going to help you mentally, physically, emotionally, financially, to help you get out of that situation. You're going to have to hold yourself accountable and
Mhm.
do what's needed to be done, and stop making the excuses, because that's the only way you're going to be able to change this situation around, okay,
Mhm.
and to be able to move forward into your healing. But it all starts with you, whether
Yeah.
you are the victim or the abuser.
Yeah.
It doesn't
Period.
matter. Yeah.
Mhm.
So before we leave, cleansing coach, tell them where to follow you on social media.
Alrighty. I am rarely on Facebook, so that's why I always go to my Instagram first, y'all. But you can follow me on IG at brown_beauties_ LLC. Or you can visit the webpage, brownbeauties.org. Sign up for your little free consultation. I'm talking to y'all. I'm willing to talk to y'all. Even if it's for more than 30 minutes, honestly, because sometimes we can get in the groove of things and,
That's true. That's true.
So yeah, that's where you can find me. That's it.
All right, love. Well, I love it. And her earrings, y'all, her is tassel me
You
earrings.
do that to me every week.
Every single time, because I love her earrings. And if you guys would like to support, follow her on Instagram. It's tassel me earrings. One word, right?
One word. Yep.
Yes, one word. And they're beautiful. I love them.
Thank
She even
you.
had one of her clients on the Food Network. So I'm telling all her business. Yes, it was a contestant on a food show. I don't know what the show was, but was it Chop?
It wasn't Chop. It's not one of the well-known shows. It was a new
Okay.
one.
Well, it don't matter. It was a Food Network, and she had on her earrings. So look,
She did. She did. It's true.
yes, she did. Yes. So you all hit her up. Go on Brown Beauties LLC on Instagram, Facebook. Check out
Mhm.
Tassel Me Earrings.
Mhm.
I am Coach Devonna Boone. I am your detox coach, founder, CEO of Natalie's Heart Coaching and Consulting. Hit me up for a free 30-minute consultation so we can discuss some things, anything that resonated with you all today that we talked about. Either one of us are good candidates for your support system, okay?
Mhm.
Or both. You can hire her as your counselor, and I could be your life coach or whatever, right? Because
Whatever works.
yes, you can have two, you can have both. But
I don't know what y'all think, but that'll be a bomb ass team.
I'm
I'm just
trying
gonna
to
throw
tell
that
you
out there.
how good we work together right here. Y'all understand what I'm saying? We got a flow going on, okay? The
Love it.
energy is just in alignment, and I love it. So, you guys, the thing that we wanted to basically bring to you all today is just awareness to what domestic violence is. This is Soul Work Saturday with Coach Devonna Boone and Coach Natasha Lancaster, your cleansing coach, and me, your detox coach. And it's crazy how we have like similar tags, right? You're
Mhm.
cleansing, detoxing. Y'all better catch what we putting down. Okay, look. And this none of this was planned. Like she was a
Mhm.
coach and therapist before I even thought about this stuff. I didn't
Mhm.
even know it until like I started following her on social media. And I'm like,
Mhm.
oh my God, this is so amazing. So
Yeah,
yeah, God is just every time I say it, he doing something. I don't know what it
he
is.
is.
He
He
doing
is doing something.
Yes, girl. Look, but I love you all. I hope that this information was beneficial. I hope that you all learned something. I hope that you all have become aware of what domestic violence is and the toxic residue that it can and will leave behind. Knowing that there is a way to change this, there's a way to get out of this and heal from this, okay? But it all starts with you
Mhm.
loving you and putting you first. All right. And then doing the work. You got to do the work. The
Yeah.
Bible says faith without works is dead. So you can
Yeah.
trust and believe that, oh, it's gonna work out. I'm gonna get out of this situation. It's gonna get better. You can believe that all you want to, but if you don't put in the work that's gonna be required of you to get better or get out of that situation, it's
Yeah.
gonna
Say yes to you.
come on now, say yes to you. And we're gonna end it on that. That's a whole word right there.
That's
Say
it.
yes to you. It's
Mhm.
So Work Saturday, y'all. Y'all have a blessed day. Bye, y'all.
Bye.